Star Wars Backlash. Luke Skywalker brought back to life using time travel in Episode 9? What?
Great Scott!
How's it going, guys? This is Phil. This is an article that came out today on express.co.uk, and the author is Stefan Kyriazis. And yeah, basically, at this point, we're looking at time travel to fix things, if you will. I mean, it's kind of come to this. And I kind of don't care. If they're gonna do it, just do it, and let's see what comes out of it. Things can't get any worse. Let's kind of make our way through this article. The Star Wars Backlash wants Luke Skywalker back alive. Yeah, I mean, we didn't want him dead to begin with. It's not our fault. We find ourselves at this point with these films and Episode 9's doomsday clock slowly ticking down. But will J.J. Abrams really use time travel to correct Rian Johnson's Last Jedi? Why not at this point? Rian Johnson essentially threw out everything J.J. Abrams set up with The Force Awakens, and that movie didn't receive nearly the level of complaints and opposition The Last Jedi has found itself on the receiving end of. So, look, even people who seem to like The Last Jedi will admit the movie has some issues. If Johnson gave a big middle finger to J.J. Abrams, and all he did in The Force Awakens with all of his setups, he pretty much handed Rian Johnson the keys to a Ferrari, and Johnson just wrecked it. I mean, he had so much to work with. Look, I say then turn around. Turnabout is fair play. And let Abrams go ahead and reset Johnson's shitfest using time travel. Screw it, which makes for a nice backhanded jab, considering Rian Johnson's movie Looper was essentially a movie based off a time traveling premise, So, just do it. Yeah, who cares, really? Okay, let's move forward here. Is something marvelous going to happen in Star Wars? I would hope eventually. Avengers Infinity War fans are desperately trying to work out whether time travel would be used to somehow bring back all the heroes killed in the snap. Star Wars fans are still reeling from the death of Luke Skywalker, and a major part of the fury and backlash directed at The Last Jedi centers on the movie's hugely divisive treatment of the iconic character. Yeah, they basically assassinated his character. We all know that. Luke was the picture of optimism, and he turned him to an old grumpy man living on an island who essentially regressed from the events of the original trilogy, and the Luke that we knew and loved was nowhere to be found, and he didn't want to be found. He wanted to go to an island and just die like a coward. Let's fix that. By whatever means. Surely Episode 9 wouldn't take a leaf out of the MCU playbook to bring him back. Sure, why not? Look, they acknowledged the Battle of Hoth and the AT-ATs in Civil War when they needed a plan to take down, giant Ant-Man. At this point, take as many leaves out of as many playbooks as you want. We're kind of past the point of inspired autistic merit. Just steal whatever you need to try and get this movie to a place where it's fun and satisfying for everybody. We just need it to be closed out so we can move on to hopefully, bigger and better movies down the line. It sounds unbelievable, but there is already a major precedent. All right, well, what is that precedent? Most fan theories were convinced Luke will be back as a Force ghost. Yeah, that goes without saying. The guy is contractually obligated to return, and we figured we'd see him as a Force ghost. Although I thought going into these movies, he would maybe die in the third movie, and we'd see him as a Force ghost. If not, Maybe like in episode 10, a continuation with the characters that were set up in this trilogy, would then move on to their own trilogy that concentrated on them, and then Luke would at least show up as a Force ghost to help guide Rey. But I got that wrong. But then the recent pictures posted by Mark Hamill showed that he had shaved off his beard, and suddenly it seems more likely that Luke would appear in clean-shaven flashback scenes. Yeah, this broke the Star Wars internet. Mark Hamill shaving his face. Look, maybe there will be flashbacks with Luke, younger Luke. Maybe they'll do some digital de-aging. They'll have him alongside Kerry Russell as Mara Jade, which seems to be the big scuttlebutt for her coming in as a cast member. And maybe we'll finally get some more of a backstory with Rey. Whether or not Luke turns out to be the parent or the uncle of Rey remains to be seen. They have to do something. She has to have some type of lineage. Otherwise, what would be the point of his lightsaber calling out to her, or Ben Kenobi communicating with her through the Force? Why just pick her randomly out of nowhere if she's a no one? So there has to be something. I get Anakin was a no one, but these movies, that was the beginning essentially. These movies they've always been about family, and the Skywalker saga. If you wanted to introduce a character that had nothing to do with the Skywalker saga, you should have did it in another trilogy. It's kind of weird to just bring her in here. I mean, I guess you could make the argument that, well, Kylo Ren is essentially part of the Skywalker lineage. Maybe he becomes the protagonist at the very end, and Rey goes to the dark side. I mean, that would be an interesting flip on things, but it doesn't seem the way that they want to do. They want to go with this. So having Rey be a complete nobody, it just seems, it just seems like they were trying to troll the audience who suspected that she was somebody to begin with from The Force Awakens. It doesn't make any sense, really. So I say, let's do that. Let's get her in there somehow. Whatever you need to do. I mean, again, just do it and get it done, and let's get this movie. Let's get the credits rolling. I mean, December of 2019 can't come quick enough. The new theory is based on the canon storyline, and it says here, of course, the darker options. Mark Hamill will not be coming back at all and has moved on, which I don't believe to be the case. And it says the new theory is based on the canon storyline, and there's nothing here. There's no spoilers. What is that? They need an editor here. That's just a dead sentence. Look at that. That's awful. In Star Wars Rebel Season 4, I guess we're going to get into some spoilers here. The episode Worlds Between Worlds uses time travel to save a major character. Ezra Bridger goes back in time to save Ahsoka Tano from Darth Vader. This storyline was authorized by fan favorite Dave Filoni. That's our boy, head of Star Wars Animation, who is one of the leading contenders to take over from Kathleen Kennedy at Lucasfilm. One could only hope. One commentator reports that Filoni and Rian Johnson had many conversations around the time this episode was being created. Okay. In Dave we trust. I'll say that much. If Dave signs off on it, I'm good. As Mike Zero points out, everybody's favorite YouTuber, many fans would grasp at anything if it brought back Luke. I whatever straw it takes, I'll grasp at it. However, the chances of time travel being used as a plot reboot seems far-fetched. Why not? I don't think so. Then again, many fans will say the same about much of Episode 8, exactly, after flying Leia through space, and Rey and Kylo's awkward vision flirtations. Yeah, and Luke being a grump, drinking milk off of sea cow titties, just killing Snoke for no apparent reason. I mean, the movie was just a mess. Anything could be possible. Anything was possible. Anything could still be possible. Well, look, here's how I feel. If you want to bring the time travel into the Star Wars saga, go right ahead. Be my guest at this point. This movie, we're looking at bringing maybe a Force Luke, Force Ghost, Luke Skywalker, maybe a young Luke Skywalker. We're talking about the possibility of Mara Jade. We know we have Billy D. Williams coming back as Lando Calrissian. There's rumors of some wild fan theories of somehow bringing back Han Solo into the fold. We're looking at a Force Ghost Yoda that they're talking about. I mean, this movie, this may be possibility of some kind of a, if with the time jump. If that doesn't explain away Leia's death, then possibly having a CG Leia for maybe a scene. I doubt that that's something that they'll do. But I mean, there's so much going on with this movie. They're bringing so much stuff in to try to figure out how to make this, just to kind of fix this, just to get through the 2-hour runtime, so they can roll credits and wipe their hands with it and be like, okay, let's reset everything at this point. Yeah, why not introduce time travel? It's just one more thing. I mean, we already have flashbacks that were introduced with the sequel trilogy. That's something that we had never seen before. Why not introduce a stinger at the end of the credits like Marvel does and have that set something else up? I mean, who really cares? Just whatever you got to do, use whatever kind of MacGuffin, whatever kind of wacky, plot device that you need to do. If you feel that you can't fix this story without bringing back Luke, he shouldn't have been killed off to begin with. If you want to bring him back and use time travel to do it, that's fine. But I mean, is the whole movie going to be based off of time travel? And then again, we only get Luke the last 5 minutes. I mean, is it really worth it then? So I mean, I don't really know. It just seems so messy at this point. So I listen. It's just like it's like dumbfounded. All right, guys, that's all I got on this article. Let me know what you think about the time travel and everything else. In regard to this, I mean, do you want to see a younger Luke? Do you want to see Luke saved? At what point in the timeline are they going to bring Luke back from? That's a question. Is he going to be back shortly after Return of the Jedi? Is he going to be the Luke that was training Kylo Ren? What age is this Luke going to be? I mean, with digital de-aging, we could get a Luke who's maybe only 6 years older than Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. I mean, it's quite possible. I don't really know, but we'll see where they go with this. Right now, I guess it's just kind of like a theory that's floating out there. We'll see what we end up with. I say JJ should do it just to give Rian Johnson a middle finger, like just to one-up him as far as that's concerned. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. As always, it's very much appreciated. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and comment down below. And if this is your first time here, then please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that little bell icon, and the next time I post a video, you'll be notified. And that's pretty much it. So I hope everybody had a great weekend, and I will see you sometime soon. Be happy, be safe, be healthy. Have a good night. Bye-bye.